Welcome back, everybody, and good morning. 9 a.m. here in New York. It is the 5th of November, and I'll tell you, what a little bit of a scary day yesterday. We're going to talk about some of the stocks, took some big hits, and there are a couple. Today, we're getting a couple of interesting, moving stocks. Nothing super spectacular. Good to see everyone. Grant, Michael, Nabali, good to see you all. Lynn, Randy, everyone, fabulous. So anyway, we had some more earnings that did come out yesterday. Obviously, AMD was one of them. And you could see it did a really, really nice slingshot. Went from 250 all the way down to 242, came back up. And then everything started coming back down. I did mention yesterday, if you remember, the reason why the market was down so much yesterday is because a lot of these CEO of the banks was saying that a lot of these high-tech stocks are overvalued, okay? And then you could see that a lot of them started trickling down at the end of the day. And it was kind of depressing because I am long a lot of these stocks too. And I know a lot of you are also, but we are making a comeback. We're making a little bit of a comeback. And if you remember being in the trading floor, we always say this, me, Josh, Rich, we always say it. You have to go down before you can go up. You got to shake out the shorts, before you can, you can impress the bulls. So we are making a little bit of comeback, which looks pretty good. And, I was just looking at Tesla really quick, and it is, wrong one. Tesla is coming back down. I mean, it was all the way up to the 460s. It came all the way down to 440. That's like a $20 drop. That was a lot. And, one thing educational wise, I want to point out, but you could see this is something we teach you in classes when you're at the end of the day and the stock, is trading at the lows of the day. Usually they go lower into the close. You could see here the last 45 minutes, program trading kicks in the last 15 minutes. Boom, we had a big correction. So there was some really nice shorts to do, but we are recovering a little bit. So that's a good news. Now, regarding about the elections that we had yesterday, so we can see the Democrats won. It's pretty self-explanatory, very, very Democratic states. If you look at the polls and you see it's like 2-for-1, Democrats versus Republicans. So, they deserve to win. Obviously they had to convert a lot of those on the other side, which they didn't. So they won. And, when it comes to the stocks, it really didn't affect them too much. So you could see that they don't really have policy that could affect some of these stocks. We'll see what happens in New York, though. Like I said, they elected a socialist, and we'll see how corporate America is going to react to that, as socialism versus capitalism. So we'll see how the stock market reacts to that down the road. Maybe the housing might change. I mean, we're going to check out some of those, building, all that stuff. I mean, there are companies out there that do affect by it. We said New York Stock Exchange deals with it, but everything else really didn't affect anything at all. So, not what doesn't look like we're going to benefit in any stocks this morning from the election last night, but they are making a little bit of a comeback, which is obviously the most important thing. Now, as what we see what's going on, gold's going back up, Grant, a little bit. Market is not up super; it's only up about 51 points right now. Gold is up $25. What do we have over here? What do we have? Nasdaq's down a little bit of comeback. Kind of stinks, but when the market crashes, goes down, it goes down twice as fast than what we get up a little bit. Regarding about Bitcoin, we're up about 2,000. We're still, Bitcoin hasn't really gone anywhere. It's been hovering here around the 102,000. I know it was looked like it was going to break close to, it's going to break the 100,000. Remember, we follow IBIT right here. You could see how the stock literally went from 72 all the way down to 58. I have to say, though, 58 is a pretty big support levels. Now, I'm going to be at a really big conference, just the one I did last year It's called the Crossroads from TradeStation. I don't know if anyone got the emails towards it, but it's on the 19th in Miami at the Biltmore Hotel. I will be there. A couple of the other big brokerage firms will be there also. So kind of a different conference. So I don't know if you guys are interested, but I know we had a lot of people talking about Bitcoin that day. And I remember last year is right around that time is when you could trade options on Bitcoin. So, on those ETFs. So that was like a really, really big news back then. We'll see what they're going to come and, listen, whatever I find out, I'm going to come out here and tell you the next day what they're working on and what these big boys are going. Remember, you got to be a follower in trading. You can't be a leader. Now, today, just to remind everyone, we have a podcast today. So if you did not register yet, I'm going to be doing it at 11 o'clock. I'm really excited about this one. We're going to have Wolf Financial. If some of you don't know him, he's got a huge following on Instagram, on X, Twitter, and he's done a really great job. I'm really excited to have him on, and they run pretty much the same thing that we do, a live thing, but obviously we do things a little bit different with our trading floor. But we're going to have them on today, so please make sure you tune on and register. If you're watching on social media, let me just put that little QR code. All you could do is just click on that QR code I just posted there, scan it with your phone, and we'll get you registered for that. All right. Now let's go over some of the stocks that we did trade yesterday. We did share a lot of them. Hopefully everyone has been subscribing to the emails too, because we are launching them a lot earlier and a lot faster. So you don't have to wait here until the morning. So you probably see those emails coming in. If you do see them, subscribe to them. We're sending them out a little bit more frequently. I'm not a really big fan of bulk email a lot of people because I don't want to make it sound like noise. But we did test it and we found where we think it's going to really benefit you. So make sure you subscribe to it. Here are some of the stocks that we did talk about yesterday. We had Turn that did unbelievable yesterday. That was a nice early morning runner. It ran from like $15.50 up to $18. That was right. And that was really nice. And what's funny? We didn't have a big list yesterday. These stocks came in like right after the once the market opened up, and that does happen. So the list that we always find, sometimes a lot of them probably won't be as tradable when they open up, but then there are brokerage firms that will hold these orders until they open, and this was actually one of them. Did really, really well. A couple other ones, CMBM. Was another really nice mover yesterday going to the close. It was nice around 130. You could see it was at 220, ran up to about 250, and then you could see it right after 3 o'clock. Great runner up all the way into the after hours. Went from 250 to almost $4 a share. That was awesome. MSTZ, nice little pop on that one. That was the MSTR, the opposite on that one, on the ETF. This one also, IONZ, another ETF that moved up pretty nice. That one bounced. PLTZ. These are all the opposite of these are the shorts of the brand names. This is PLTR. This is the ETF for that one. That one also did pretty well, but they're starting to make a little bit of a comeback. A lot of them, so now they're going down, but they were pretty fun to day trade. There were a lot of good shorts out there. Obviously, Palantir was one of them. That was a pretty good short yesterday, even though they beat earnings, which was unbelievable. And by the way, did you watch the video I did when I told you I asked AI what was the earnings announcements and actually told me? I wonder if it really did crack the code. That is very scary because if you looked at the earnings, it did beat it. Okay, so I'm gonna test AI a little bit more on that and see what it's doing. But anyway, that was pretty good. There was a couple other good shorts out there. IONQ was another one. Was a nice short. It's coming back. MSTR, that was a really, really good short, making a little bit of comeback. MSTR, I would keep a focus on it because there is a lot of support levels right around 230. Okay, so we're almost there. We're not that far, but nice support levels right there at MSTR. And remember, we could always trade the ETF on it. So that one's pretty good. What else we had? We had WRD, right? That was also a good short yesterday. Nice little cheapie. And one last one, SOC, was a nice short. All right, now let's go hop over and see what's going on. So we're getting a little bit of a couple of bounces right now. So Tesla took a big hit. It's making a nice little comeback. NVIDIA, it's got that big resistance levels at 200. Let me show you level 4 right here. And you could see right there, there's that big order right there. Remember, this is only pre-market. So right now there's about 25,000. You know it's going to probably multiply by 10. So we see the order out there. 200 is a critical number right there. And what else we had over here? Intel took a little bit of a hit, came back down. Palantir making a little bit of a comeback. You can see these. Palantir's got a lot of support right around 175, 180 right there too. So there are pretty good buys out there. OKLO, the nuclear stocks, this one almost 200, back down to pretty big support levels right here. So there are probably some good buys. You could probably take some. Remember what we talk about in phase 3, okay? Remember the 30-second rule. Know the 3-day rule on the swing trade. So got to keep an eye on those. Now, there are a couple other stocks that are moving this morning that are on the inexpensive side. There's this stock APPS. Now, this one's moving up really nice. There is a very big seller, though, at $8. Let me show you right there. Look at that order right there. Big, big, big seller. When I go back up to 745, you can see in the past hour, a lot of resistance levels there. If it can get past it, which is right there, you could see in the intraday chart, it had obviously had good earnings yesterday. If it can get past there, this stock could be off to the races. And it looks like it's going to want to try to break it. Nice, nice mover. SMX, another one that's moving, kind of made a big pop. It's up big, 42%, very tradable. But it's kind of not really going anywhere. It's starting to trend down a little bit, so I'm not a fan of that. OS, what's this stock over here? 52,000 shares, ugly spread. Don't really like that one. MNRO, great Fausto flag. Ugly spread, not really good that we're looking for. Light, this one's making all-time highs, but it's too expensive. We're not going to be trading a $200 stock. Hillbill, down a downtrend, not really good. These are all ETFs. CSIQ is a pretty interesting stock. This one moved up pretty well. It's been on a really nice flyer. It's been a great, great swing. Canadian Solar. Okay, now I got to check the news on this, but I don't understand why. This thing is doing great. The great yesterday is doing great again. Canadian Solar. A lot of you, I remember we made a lot of money on this when Biden came into office because they put a lot of money into solar, and Canadian Solar obviously doing really, really well there. So that one's a pretty good one. What else we have here? Nope, these are all garbage. 8. We're making a couple of comebacks. I know Josh spilt out. He was telling me Joby, Joby is moving up a little bit. Took a very big hit, came back a little bit. It's on a downtrend again. Maybe not. New York Stock Exchange, anything there? KW, gapped up earnings. Looks like it's holding up higher. We'll see how that opens up. Spread's a little big right now, though. KW, that one's not bad. It's not good, but listen, there's not that much out there. We didn't put a big list out there. Not really seeing much out there. The stock moving up pretty nicely. Looks like this one had the earnings that came out early this morning. That one's moving up pretty well. So we do have this one's hitting all-time 52-week highs. TEVA, we traded this stock before. This one's a pharmaceutical stock. This one's moving up pretty nicely. TEVA, not bad. Do we have with a list for today on earnings? What we got? Who else is up there? Yeah, we got who's coming out today? We have what is it? That's McDonald's, right? No, it's M. Is that it? Oh no, MCD. I'm sorry. MCD had McDonald's had earnings. Looks like they did okay. What else is a pretty good one that we might? Yeah, it's not really that much out there. Yeah, CCJ, which is United, Camino, not really that much out there. This afternoon, we do have, so going into the close, we got Robinhood that's coming out. That could be a pretty good one. We'll see how that one comes out. AMC, meme stock. We just have to look at it just for a goof, right? Qualcomm's coming out with earnings too. That one had a nice little run up, really nice run up on some big news, but they're going to come out Snapchat is coming out with earnings after the close. That's coming to a pretty big support levels. You might look at that. Fig. Fig is going to report today. Definitely want to see that one. That one was a fun stock. A lot of you remember Fig. It ran from like $23 to $140. It went up about 2 days. So that one's going to probably be a pretty good one. All right. Anything else that we I'll post that screenshot. Here we go. Let me get the screenshot. So this is Wednesday and this is Thursday. That's what we got. That's what we got going on. And I put that in our alert service. All right. All right. Anything else? Pins took a hit on earnings too. Let's look at that one. Yeah, Pins took a nasty hit. And you know what? Pinterest, it's got some support levels right around here around 24. We'll put Pin on there. PIN. That's a good one. I was looking on the losers. I didn't really see that much. I get that was on the New York Stock Exchange. I didn't really see anything on wow, this was taking a big hit too. A nice $800, $700 stock down to 500. Yeah, 24. Yeah, these are all them. New York Stock Exchange. Any good hits there? This one's bouncing up a little bit, but no. There's Pinterest right there. Up and you. All right, let's get ready for the market. Open up, ladies and gentlemen. We got less than 15 minutes. If you're watching on social media, if you want to join our trading floor, and you want to be able to come and watch our podcast with Wolf Financial, you don't want to miss it. Take your phone, scan that QR code, and you also could trade and join our trading floor. Everyone else, students, if you're new trial members, hopefully you're enjoying yourself. And just sit back and watch the other traders and that we've taught and see how well they do. And just don't buy anything. And students, you know how it goes. You see something, say something. Good luck, everyone. We'll be back in less than 15 minutes before the market opens up. All right, don't go anywhere.